To share with you, ito yung key verse natin for this evening. No? Maybe we can read this together. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Have confidence in your leaders and submit to their authority, for that would be of no benefit to you. So sabi niya, you have to submit to the authority because sila yung in-entrust ni God to watch over you, and they are the ones who will give account to God. So if you don't think that they're doing a good job, hayaan mo, because they will give an account, and you do this so that maging masaya naman sila sa ginagampanan nilang trabaho and not a burden. So that, for that would be of no benefit to you. Pag burdensome sa kanila yung trabaho nila, magiging masaya ka ba? I remember nga, there's a story. Sample, there's a dad, mainit ulo. Okay? Mainit ulo niya, pinagalitan niya si mama. E di si mama, binuntong yung galit sa anak, pinagalitan. Eh yung anak, magalit, sinipa yung aso. Ang bihira, pati naman si Doggy nadamay, di ba? But that is an impact. We don't want it to be a burden to them. Because lahat kayo, kung nasa organization kayo, apektado, kaya we want to make it easy for them, not a burden. Okay? So, gusto ko, basahin natin yung some biblical guidelines so that we can have a biblical context of why we need to submit to authority. Meron tayong mga Bibles to distribute. Can we have a share to read the Bible for us? Can we have a volunteer? Sino ba ang pwede natin volunteer? Rich, would you want to read for us? 1 Peter 2:13 to 23. You can stand up para for everyone. Tapos, okay lang.
Okay. Okay.
Shy.
Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human authority, whether to the emperor as the supreme authority or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. For it is God's will. This is the NIV version. For it is God's will that by doing good, you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people. Live as free people, but do not use your freedom as a cover-up for evil. Live as God's slaves. Show proper respect to everyone. Love the family of believers. Fear God. Honor the emperor. Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. For it is commendable if someone bears up under the pain of unjust suffering, because they are conscious of God. But how is it to your credit if you receive a beating for doing wrong and endure it? But if you suffer for doing good and you endure it, this is commendable before God. To this you were called because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. He committed no sin, and no deceit was found in his mouth. When they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. When he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he entrusted himself to him who judges justly.
Okay, 3 points na pwede natin makita. No? Sinabi niya, first of all, we honor the authority so that tayo professing Christians daw might show to the people what our faith is. We're not rebellious, even as the word dictates. No? Basa niyo yung teaser na sinend ni Joy, no? Isn't it good? Ganda ng teaser na sinend ni Joy, no? What else? Second point, he mentioned, even Jesus submitted to the authority. And third point is, hindi ka lang nagsasubmit dun sa mabuting boss. Kali lang naman magsubmit sa mabuting boss eh. But even to those who are harsh, so that you might silence the critics. Diba? Because even Jesus was under the authority and he submitted himself to them. Even if he is God. Diba? Okay. Last siguro maybe someone from the ladies can read Romans 13 verse 1 to 5. Maybe who's gonna be Shine? Could you read for us? Sige, Shine. Mabilis lang to, verse 1 to 5 lang, para we can move on to our discussion. Gusto ko lang maintindihan natin yung biblical point of view.
Everyone must submit
Kapat yung mic.
pero nakasama po sa
Kailan? Para marinig nila. Sige.
Everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong, do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and he will commend you. For he is God's servant to do you good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword for nothing. He is God's servant, an agent of wrath, to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also because of conscience.
Okay. So, sinasabi niya, the rulers are the ones submitted to God. But as far as we're concerned, we just obey so that we can be under God's triangle of blessing. You remember, to some who was attending CCF Sunday service, we learned about God's triangle of blessing, di ba? Faith, si God at the center, faith and your obedience. So, you want to be at the protection of God. Kasi kung hindi, if you don't submit to the authority, hindi ka niya mapoprotektahan. The government can give you, or any authority can give you punishment without God's protection. So, I would think majority of us knows these passages, but arguably, we all have authority one way or the other, and we cannot escape it. That's the fact. So, which brings me to my first sharing. What's honor versus respect? Ano ba difference nun? Okay? Anyone would like to say something about what is honor? Walang brave soul? Sige na nga. Honor. Honor is, I would think, is giving value from the word honor. You give value, you give respect, you give high regards. Okay? You give them importance. But there's two distinct words that I mentioned, honor and respect. Honor, I guess, is freely given. Respect is earned. Okay? So don't miss between the two. Honor is to be given to those authorities God appointed. It's your choice. You may not be worthy of my respect. Pwedeng ganun eh. Hindi ko masyado respetable yung boss ko eh. But, he doesn't earn it, but you can say, I honor you because of the role God gave you. That should be our action as a believer. No? We don't say na, hindi ko siya respected eh, ayaw ko. But God appointed that, so you have to submit to that. Even if hindi siya highly respected, that's your role. I have an example, perfect example. What do you mean, son? I have an example. There's a guy. There was a guy who was sitting beside a certain mahilig siya sa politics. No? So, they talk about President Bush. You know naman, President Bush has his aggressive moves with respect to the US in terms of yung mga military attacks, di ba? And he has a lot of things to say about why he doesn't agree with Bush. When suddenly, isang event kasi, when suddenly in-announce, let's welcome the President of the United States. He just stood up, made his respect, and gave his full honor. That's what I mean. Ibig ko sabihin, he might have different point of view with respect to what President Bush has in terms of his decision, but the moment he saw President Bush, he gives that respect to his office. So, ganun din sana para maintindihan natin. It's the same dynamics rin sa office. We do have a leader who is above us, probably boss natin, parents, for whatever it is, who is hard to please and respect. Minsan nga ako, when I was flagged down by the police, alam ko mangungutong na naman yan. But I still do respect. Kaya nga sabi niya, boss, buti nga ka mo, malumanay yung pagsasabi. And by doing that, may kasalanan ako. Palusot pa ako just by giving honor, di ba? Minsan nga hindi naman ka respeto, but if they were given the position, we give them that. And we choose to honor them. So, which brings me to my next point. What is the benefit of honoring our leaders? Okay? I'd like to share one point. The first point ko is, honor lifts up while lack of honor tears down. There's a story of a couple. A couple mag-asawa na kina-counsel ng two pastor, no? Pastor's wife and So, yung wife, may issue kasi sila ng husband niya. So, they keep on arguing. And na-found out ng counselor na babae, this woman pala continues to tear down his wife by showing dishonor to her husband. And sinabi nga ng babae na kina-counsel niya, yung counseling, you know, my husband, you don't even have to tell me to submit to my husband. Because my husband is half the man of your husband. Hindi naman siya ganun ka okay. Wait till you see him. And then, the counselor actually just said to her, you know, sabi niya, he's the man who he is because yung sinasabi niya, he was referring to his husband, he's the man who he is because I give him the honor. So, in short, he thinks that his husband is that on a certain level. Pero hindi lang niya alam, that husband was at that certain level because yung counselor who was sharing to the counseling, hindi mo lang alam because of how I honor him, kaya siya umabot sa stage na ganyan. So, ganun din dapat tayo. What I'm referring to is honor lifts up while lack of honor tears down. If you continuously give honor, it lifts up the leader and makes him feel the role that he's supposed to do. Next, I'd like to share second point, honor empowers. What do I mean? As we give honor freely, then suddenly we lift one another. Okay? And then the person suddenly realizes, ito posibleng isipin ng leader, hey, the people do respect me in this leadership role that I'm supposed to fill. And they believe in me. Therefore, I will have to step in on it and I want to do a good job in this role. Eh, nire-respeto nila ako. I must really be the right person here. Kaya kailangan gawin ko itong trabaho ko. Okay? I hope I was able to drive that message. Meron din yung I heard this sharing ng isang pastor, no? Who was discussing, imagine mo, church pa naman to, di ba? He was just encouraging his members, nagbe-brainstorming sila. And he mentioned, I need you guys to believe on me. That was their senior pastor. And the people around him was asking, bakit na naisip kaya na we don't believe on him? Why does he have to say, I need you guys to believe on me? So parang they think na parang hindi kami naniniwala sa kanya. But I think yung inisip na ngayon nung nag-share kung bakit niya nga nasabi ng pastor ganyan, probably because he recalled his actions and he was thinking, probably baka hindi ko nga na-build up yung leader in that area so that it doesn't give him that confidence in what he's talking about. That's why he has to tell you, guys, you have to believe in me. Kasi we might think we have been honoring the authority, pero hindi naman natin naipaparamdam. So if we don't show at hindi niya nararamdaman, then nahihirapan rin siyang i-fulfill. Even if subliminally we think, but if we don't think coupled with our actions, baliwala yun. So we have to be intentional rin in really showing the right honor to those authorities that we have. We know we need to honor our parents, but we need to really show it so that they themselves would actually say, yeah, very honoring talaga. In Hanang way, kung majority Chinese, no? I would presume Binondo. Yahaw siya ng boy. Pwede nang gusto nila sa parents eh. Okay. So, ako naman, we don't mean, ito yung other fine point. We don't mean that these leaders that we have should be untouchable. Boss, kailangan boss ang tingin. We shouldn't. Nor should we don't have to have us even rebuking them because we know that there are times the authorities would have wrong. So we also have to rebuke them, but in a respectful, private way. Or have, ano ba yan? Kailangan, boss, kailangan may sariling parking place, pinagsisilbihan. No. Leaders are supposed to be servant leaders. And yung mga marunong na leaders knows that. They need not demand their honor because as people look up to them, the honor is automatically given by their actions. Okay? So, kailangan lang, what I mean, that's not what I mean. What I mean is the leaders should feel that my team is behind me. Kung may boss ka, kailangan maramdaman nila, kasama ko yung mga team members ko, suportado nila ako. And you can show your leaders that you are behind them. You correct them when they needed it gently. You speak honestly when they need to be honest. We talked about people pleasing from the past, right? We talked about, ano ba yung last topic natin? Do you remember? Integrity. So, kailangan transparent rin tayo. So, we need not fake it. We just have to be consistent na sabihin yung tama in an honest manner. But, you make them feel that they are the best person to do this so that suddenly, the honor builds them up so that they can stand on that role and take the organization somewhere else. Parang feeling niya, ako talagang capable, they give me that honor and I can fly this organization. Okay? So, I hope I was able to give you some pointers on what is the effect of honoring. Now, I'd like to share another point about hunger and ambition. Okay, these are two different things. No? We meet people who are hungry and passionate. And there are also some people who might be ambitious or sa Tagalog, ambisyoso. Okay? And we need to take careful step on how to honor these people. Sino ba ang mga ambitious person? They are personally ambitious and lead towards themselves. They create a personal brand and recognition. And that is different from being hungry and passionate. It's all about them. For the hungry and passionate, we want someone who is hungry and passionate because there's someone who is aggressive, meaning hungry to help the organization. And there's someone who wants to further the mission. So when a person doesn't show honor, they're typically or personally ambitious. Okay? So, titingnan mo yung sarili mo. Baka hindi ako nag-o-honor dahil rebellious ako siguro, dahil I feel, alam ko, mas tama ako. Baka you might probably be the person na ambitious, no? Because when a person doesn't show honor, they're typically personally ambitious because it's all about them. You don't think of the organization, gusto mo ikaw ang bida. Okay? But when they show honor, they can have the hunger for the whole organization. So, which one are you? Are you the ambitious guy or the passionate guy? Because if you submit and give honor, it's all about the organization. And you might be the right person that can, encourage the whole organization. Right? So, as I move forward, now my next question is, how do you build? So, we're on our workplace, diba? We talk about the workplace. Now, what I want you to ask is, how do I build a culture of honor in our organization? Mukha namang mga asawa yung mga tao dito, rebellious, tigas sa mga ulo, ayaw mag-submit sa authority. So, paano ko i-encourage na maging ganun yung atmosphere? Usually, when honor is demanded, like let's say, i-honor mo ko, no? It is not real honor. Especially if the leader would ask, you honor me. I don't think it's real honor because it's demanded. It doesn't help anybody. And in reality, the leader who asked that really doesn't want you to honor him as much as you would like him to honor each one and even those around him. So, if honor is asked, then I would think that is not real honor. And this is what I want you to learn. Your goal is not to get you to honor me, but for you to honor those around me. Okay? I'd like to elaborate on that. It's not about getting the honor, but giving the honor. So kung ikaw, you feel na gusto mo rin mabigyan ng honor because I would believe some of us has certain positions. Meron kang boss sa taas, meron kang boss sa baba. Di ba? You don't demand na i-respect ka ng subordinate mo sa baba. What you do, you give the honor to those around you. Makikita yan ng mga tao mo sa baba, and in effect, it's a pass-it-on mentality. Okay? It's not about demanding, but about giving it and creating a culture that gives it freely, and in turn, everyone receives it. Diba? Sometimes, ganun nga yung mentality, we wanna be served, but in the end, we should be the one serving. Ganun din yung concept niya. Okay? And everyone in turns honors one another as a result of the culture the leader has set in honoring everyone. And that is a real scenario. Ako rin minsan, sa office, minsan nabubuisit rin ako sa mga tao. Sometimes, they give all the problems to me to solve. Pero, pagka naman ako nag-decide, daming sinasabi, pambira. Pero, I realized, kasi, of course, hindi lang naman rank and file lang kausap ko, may mga kausap rin ako managers. At may kanya-kanya sila jurisdiction. Some would be taking care of marketing, some would be taking care of operations, and so on. So, ako, if I try to honor them by being the leader of their own department, showing them the right honor, in turn, mararamdaman nila yan. This is how things are done. Eventually, nai-influence mo yung atmosphere. Lahat kayo nag-o-honor one another. And in effect, isn't it great? Ha? Ang sarap na ngayon ng environment, working environment, hindi na yung payabangan, but pagalingan na kung sino yung magaling mag-honor. But I'm not asking you to kiss us. That's people-pleasing, and we talk about that. Diba? What we want to talk about is giving the honor. Again, sinabi ko, you can tell them correctly what's their problem, but you make them feel that they are capable for that position at kaya niya. Para mapalipad niya yung organization. That's what I mean. Okay? So as an application to any business, kala nyo, puro employee. What about in the business side or in any organization? Can I apply it also? Okay? Ito naman, pwede nating ma-pick out. Where there is lack of honor, it strips one another of confidence while honor builds up. Okay? So ibig ko sabihin, pag hindi ka nagbibigay ng honor, tinatanggal mo yung confidence sa leader na yun. And nagsasuffer yung organization in reality. Di ba? Whether we like it or not, sa talaga yung nakalagay dyan. So, you rather choose. You build someone up or you strip them of confidence. It's up to you. Okay? We should be believing in one another. Okay? So what should be our goal? What should be our goal? Okay? This is some of my final points, no? So, para makapag-wrap up tayo. What should be our goal as a Christian in order to apply this? Okay? So, I'd like you to ponder upon these words, or this phrase. It's not for me as a leader expecting to receive a lot of honor from my team, but to give a lot of honor instead to my team. Okay? Nakuha niyo, no? Hindi ako magdi-demand i-honor ako, but gusto ko is to give a lot of honor to my team. Yan dapat ang maging goal ninyo sa Christian. Okay? Next, for the team to outdo one another in showing honor. And what it does, you know what it does? It creates an environment where we believe in one another and getting better together, and our organization wins at the end. So in reality, are you a team player or a solo performer? That's the question. So as we end our discussion, I'm just sharing a very short devotion, but I want you to talk into your breakout groups. No, we don't win together as an individual, but we win together as a team.